Hello and welcome to Verbal to Visual. Today I would like to share with you a visual tool that has become a permanent fixture on my office wall. This is a tool that has helped me get my work done each week, and specifically work that's connected to a couple of my ongoing projects. Projects with weekly output connected to them. One of those projects is this one here, Verbal to Visual, where I make weekly videos that help you develop and apply your sketchnoting skills to work that you care about. And at times it has been a challenge to keep up with that weekly pace, to develop and produce one of these videos every single week. But the tool that I'm going to describe here has been a real help in both wrapping my head around what the weekly workflow looks like, and then actually helping me to carry out that workflow. So my hope is that this setup that I'm about to describe here might help you with the work that you're involved in, especially in those cases where there's a certain thing that you make every single week or every single month. The first thing to do is identify the steps required for that project. Here are the steps involved in making videos like this one. I explained each of these steps in a separate video called Whiteboard Animation Workflow. So if you'd like to dig deeper into those details, then go check out that video. I've found it helpful to identify each of these individual steps because it makes the overall process of creating a video like this feel less daunting. Because rather than thinking of that entire project as a whole, I can focus on just the next step that's in front of me right now. And since it is my goal to make one of these videos every single week, I decided to map these tasks to specific days. In this case, I like to front load the work and do the most intensive steps on Monday, get all the way through the recording of the sketch note, then kind of taper down from there so that it's a bit less work on Tuesday, a little bit less than that on Wednesday, and then Thursday is when I finish it off and send it out. I find that front loading to be helpful both because I get the hardest work done first, and then also because it puts in place this buffer where even if I don't get through all 4 of those tasks on Monday, maybe just the first 2 or 3, I still have some time on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to pick up the slack and still get it done on time. But the creation of these videos isn't the only thing I work on each week. I've also got a weekly podcast called The Doug Neill Show. The tagline of that show is weekly reflections on the building of a sustainable creative career. And it's essentially a behind the scenes podcast to let you know how I'm going about building this project here, Verbal to Visual, and sharing ideas that I hope are helpful for other folks who are building their own creative careers. So each week I look back at what I've been working on and pick one story to tell. I create a quick outline in Evernote and then record the audio by improvising off of that outline. Then there's the editing of the podcast, a creation of some bullet point show notes. Then what's also been fun is creating sketch note summaries and visual templates connected to each episode. That's a nice way to use the skills that I teach here and hopefully, especially with those visual templates, provide some regular tools for others who want to take action on the ideas that I share each week. I've got a Patreon connected to the podcast, so that's where you can go if you'd like to tap into those sketch notes and visual templates. But the podcast itself is free and I publish one every Friday. These then are my 2 ongoing projects, the things that I work on every single week and the things that have a specific deliverable every week. So after identifying each of the steps of that weekly work and assigning those steps to specific days, I then taped that up to my office wall and I've been using it to track the development of each video that I make and each podcast episode. This is where sticky notes come in handy. Once I've decided the title for the video that I'm making that week or the podcast episode, I jot it down on a sticky note and put it on that first step. And with that as a reference at any given time throughout each day and each week, I know what step I need to be working on, and I can focus just on that step and doing the work necessary to move that sticky note from one square to the next. And because I've got those steps connected to specific days, I always have a general sense for how the week is going, and if I'm on track to be able to publish the thing on the day that I hope to publish it. I've often found that it's in the middle of working on one video or one podcast episode that an idea for the next one comes to mind. And what I like about this type of visual tool is that I've got space to jot that idea down on another sticky note and post it up there. Not yet within that step 1 box because I'm not actively working on that video or that podcast episode, but just off to the side. That helps me to capture ideas for future weeks without worrying about getting started on them yet. It's a place to put video ideas and potential podcast episodes that are in the queue. And I think that helps to keep the momentum going from week to week. Similarly, once I finish all of these steps and I publish the thing that I've been working on, it's been nice to keep it up on the wall. It's a little bit of a celebration of this is a thing that I actually finished and put out into the world. It's also a bit of a reminder when I start the next one that I've done this before, that even if I come upon roadblocks, I've proven to myself in the past that I can overcome those roadblocks and finish the thing. It also helps me to see in a very visual way the growing body of work that I enjoy creating and sharing over time. So you might consider creating something like this for yourself. What I find helpful about this simple tool is that 1, it encourages you to explicitly write down your process. And when you do that, when you actually look at the individual steps involved, I think it makes it easier to see where improvements can be made. I also think it helps you to focus on one project at a time and even one step at a time within that project. You can see the bigger picture of how far along you are in the process, but you also know what you need to be working on right now. And with just a bit of space on either side, you do have a place where you can capture potential next projects and also archive completed ones to remind yourself that you've done it before so you can do it again. And then as you go through your work each day, it provides a bit of motivation, moving that simple sticky note from left to right. So if you would like to more clearly see the steps in your ongoing work and have a tool to track that work, then give this method a try. And if you would like to develop a broader set of visual skills to help you with your learning, problem solving, and storytelling work, then check out the courses available at verbaltovisual.com. You can find the links to those down below. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck with your weekly work, and I'll see you again in the next video. Until then.